Right, Bards, it's time to start this thing up again.
We're back, mate, we're back. Last year's behind us, New Year's on the way, and we've got a couple of wins on the board. I'm very happy indeed.
And we've decided to rename this program.
We have renamed it, Grant, and you can do the honours of listing the name if they haven't already read it.
Hawks One-Eyed View.
Hawks One-Eyed View, that's what we are, mate, One-Eyed Hawks, and we scrap all the content that's anything to do with other teams. It's all about Hawthorn.
That's right. So we want as many people to go out and get as many other one-eyed Hawks to join this mighty mob, because this is the year. I don't care. No inhibitions. We are going to win it this year.
That's it, mate. That is it, indeed. And we also want our fans out there to get involved. If you're out there and you want to come on and give us your one-eyed view on the Hawks, drop us a note on the Facebook page and we'll get you on. All you need is a webcam and Skype.
All right, so this week's program is dedicated to rubber. That was the first request we had from the fans this week. Disappointing to lose one of the greats, but unfortunately we all get old, Bards.
We do, mate, but unfortunately for rubber, he wasn't that old, mate. 57, young age to go down the way he did. I'm probably not really lucky enough to see much of him play. I remember Hawks from about 86 onwards. He was finished at the end of 85, but talking to the old man and listening to Brereton on the radio talking about him, they couldn't have praised him more. And apparently he had an uncanny ability to shut down Malcolm Blight time after time, and not many players can claim that. So, full of ability, cut down by injuries, did a knee early, which probably cost him as it did in those days, but much loved man around the club, and very sad loss.
Yeah, always sad to lose the Hawk.
Yeah, just on that, mate, a great effort by the Hawks team to include his family on Sunday afternoon, bringing his son, his daughter and his wife into the circle for the song, and there's a couple of really good photos of Clarko giving them a big group hug at the end of the day, and that's what it's about. That's why we're the family club. They're in a time of grief. One constant's probably the Hawks in their life, and we've helped them out.
Yeah, great to see. Right, so here's our first segment. We're going to name segments this time round, Bards. This is Match Review. I know it's nothing as a name, but, you know, let's go with it.
That'll do the trick. Everyone knows what we're talking about if we say Match Review. So, all right, mate, I've got the honours of reading out the scores from the weekend. We're not doing reviews for round 1 and 2. We'll do some votes a bit later on. The ones that's on our mind at the moment is Hawthorn and Collingwood on the weekend. And it was Hawthorn 22-13, 145, defeating Collingwood 13-12-90.
How many pictures of the scoreboard did you see on your Facebook site this week?
It was very pleasing scores indeed, mate. I noticed before the game, they interviewed Buckley and said, how are you going to beat Hawthorn? They beat you 3 times last year. He said they averaged 137 points a game against us last year, which is too much, so we're going to bring that back. Unlucky. Went the other way, Bucks. We'll increase that average now.
And goal kickers, Bards?
Goal kickers, mate, well spread around, as we like to see. The big Budwar Franklin with 4. Sean Burgoyne with 3, Luke Bruce with 3, Ruffy with 3, the great man Luke Hodge had 2, young Bradley Hill with 2, and singles to Birchall, Lewis, Anderson, Hale and Puopolo.
Right, and match highlight.
Well, mate, I think we've seen a goal that we won't see many better this year. I don't know if they'll give it goal of the year, because the actual finish of it wasn't all that spectacular. Just a lazy 70-metre drop punt. But as a team goal, absolutely brilliant. 12 seconds, full back to full forward. Mate, it was sensational. And Franklin, if he wants to give up footy, maybe he's not signing a contract. He might be going to the Olympics team in the 110 hurdles, I reckon. It
was sensational. And again, I don't know whether I saw that score at the end of the game more than I saw pictures of Franklin and videos of Franklin doing that run.
And even someone like me doing a little Photoshop and putting him over a hurdle at Athens. I was in the bar at my pub when that goal was kicked, mate, and there's probably about 10 people in the bar watching the game, probably half Hawthorn supporters and a mixed bag, and sort of between pouring beers, I heard, he's gone on the top. I've ducked out to look at the score, or look at the screen rather, and I've seen the mark and the build-up, the whole bar started lifting, they could see what was happening, and when he's jumped in and he had the shot for goal, the noise was unbelievable. Dad was upstairs watching the game, he wasn't even watching it, he was upstairs, he heard the roar and was wondering what was going on. So, fantastic goal. You won't see many as good as that. Apart from a couple of Luke Hodge, one Luke Hodge torpedo, which wasn't bad either.
a grab out of the pack and just snapped on his foot.
Yeah, too easy. We'll just go. He did 2 of them from outside 50. The man was on fire.
As they would say to Mark Langdon in New Zealand, you'd simply just taken the puff.
He was, mate. For a bloke whose body was gone and he wasn't up to it anymore, he was absolutely brilliant.
All right, the next segment is the Bardsley.
The bar's low indeed, and I've got some votes. Which order would you like these? You want the Collingwood ones first and we'll go back? Or is that going to be too confusing for your accounting methods there?
Round 1, Bards.
Okay. Round 1. Game that no longer gets mentioned once again, but it was Hawthorn Geelong. I've given 5 votes to Grant Birchall, 4 votes to Sam Mitchell, 3 to Ryan Schoenmakers, 2 to Cyril Rioli, and 1 vote for the little man, Paul Piopolo.
Round 2, Bards.
Round 2 is a game we're happy to talk about, mate. We went out west. Jason, up in the crowd, drinking like a sailor, I'd say. Had a great time over there, and we took the chocolates, as we know. And that man again, I've given 5 votes to Grant Birchall. He had a brilliant game that day. 4 to Luke Hodge on his first game back, and he was very good again. 3 to Cyril Rioli. There's a common theme here. He's in the votes once again. He had a ripper, kicked about 3 goals that game. 2, my man, Max Bailey, for a great performance in the ruck. Silence a few critics and show us what he's capable of. Took Dean Cox on and beat him hands down in the ruck. Some really lovely tap work and did a bit around the ground too. He's getting better and better. And snuck Shuey in for 1 vote as well, mate. He had a good day sort of switching between Kennedy and Darwin, and overall had a very good day.
I have to take your word for it on round 1 and 2, as you know, because I was away. And 5 minutes of highlights on the AFL site while I was away is not going to cut it. So I'm not going to dispute any of that. If anyone wants to dispute that, they can write you a note on the Facebook site.
Fair enough, mate.
Round 3.
All right, mate. Round 3. 5 votes to the skipper, mate, Luke Hodge. Sensational game. Back to his absolute best. 2 great goals. Bullocking work. Tried to break Harry O'Brien's leg, apparently. But other than that, mate, ripper game. 4 to young Liam Shields. Definitely his best game for the year. One of the better games he's had. He was great. He was everywhere. Had plenty of the ball. Did a job. 3 again to Birchall. This man's on fire. I read somewhere during the week, admittedly a Hawthorn fan site, that he's just out and out the best halfback flanker in the league now, and trouble finding anyone to argue that at the moment. 2 to Franklin. Did some special things. Got on the end of it. 4 goals. Can't argue with that. And 1 vote to the bloke who played a ripper game down back was Ben Stratton. Reads the play really well. Plays big and small. Great mark. And had a good day out.
No votes for the Rising Star?
Oh, look, mate, he was good, Jed, and I probably could have snuck him in. I could have snuck a lot of blokes in for 1 vote when you beat Collingwood by 50 points. He was very good, but no, I didn't sneak him in.
And Taylor Duray?
Taylor Duray had a good first game. Wasn't outstanding, but used the ball really well in the first half especially. Pinpoints and kicks, and by the end of the game, the ball wasn't going down there, so you probably didn't see as much of it. But no, he had a good day, Taylor.
All right, so if people think Bards' votes are crap, you can write to him.
Yeah, no worries. Feel free, if someone wants to Skype in next week and do their own votes, we'll take them under consideration.
They won't count for the mighty Bards, though, but
that's what I said. We'll take them under consideration.
All right, well, the next segment would be Wedder's Whinge. People might have noticed on the site that Wedders reckon we dished him and we hadn't even recorded a program, so we told him the time to be dialing in and we haven't heard from him. So this week's Wedder's Whinge is, where are you, Wedders?
Well, that was last year's segment, Where's Wedders? Most of the time it was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, and we never got a photo of him in the whole time he was travelling in a Hawthorn jumper near anything.
No. And how about the gnome?
No gnome.
Did you get a photo of yourself in a Hawthorn jumper when you were over there?
No, but I must say, while I've been away for those 2 weeks, I had with me, and I did see Wedders and Mrs. Wedders for a day, and they said, what the hell have you got that on for? I had the Hawks lanyard. Because I was carrying bus passes, hotel passes, the London pass. I had it all in that thing.
You sound like
so I had Hawthorn very close to my heart all the way through the trip.
You sound like my old man when he goes on a cruise. He's too scabby to buy the P&O lanyard, so he takes his Hawthorn one and puts all his room card in that.
I didn't have to buy one. I just took that. Mrs. Howe's packed that for us, for all of us. All 4 of us had it.
No wearing Hawthorn stuff everywhere around the world.
So, you can't say I'm not dedicated, and that's our whinge. It's about wedders. So next week we'll have a wedders whinge, we believe.
Yeah, we'll have something, no doubt. Probably about the weather in Sydney. Oh, hang on, he's going to be in Melbourne.
Look, he'll be that jet lagged, he won't know where he is. Right, so the next one is Bard's Blast.
Bard's Blast. Well, mate, I haven't gone into too much depth here, but it's pretty obvious. We, for some reason, Kevin Bartlett and his mates again have decided that our game's a bit boring and we need to change it up. And they've come up with a rule now that you cannot slide in to make forceful contact below a player and then you give away a free kick. Well, one bloke, Gary Rowan, last year from Sydney gets a leg broken. Fair enough. Good young players, unfortunate incident. But I can't remember too many other occasions where this has caused maiming injuries as they're going on about. What Luke Hodge did last week, under the new rule, was a free kick to Harry O'Brien. No arguments there. What that shows is the rule's bloody stupid. Ball's in dispute. Man puts his head over the ball and grabs it on a wet day, so he slides forward a bit. A bloke can just run in and turn side on and get hit in the leg and get a free kick. The thing's a joke. Fair enough, if you need a rule, have a rule that if the bloke's already in possession or over the ball, you can't dive in to a guy on the ground. But the ball's being contested. Let the bloke dive on it. It shows guts. Silly rule. KB, leave the game alone again. Get back to normal. Let's go with normal footy, not this bullshit bloody can't slide in crap. That's my blast.
So does that mean we go into Fair Sucker the Sav umpire, which is another new segment, which is why the hell did that umpire report Harry O'Brien in the first place?
Yeah, we could complain about that, but we did say we don't care about any other team other than Hawthorn.
All right, but we will have a segment called Fair Sucker the Sav umpire.
And based on this week's game, I don't think we have too much to complain about the umpires.
Okay, so here comes our next segment. From the back line.
We're going back to the 80s, mate, and we're reading the teams out the way they should be read. Back pocket to Rovers, probably interchange. Doesn't matter. We got the side here, and Hawthorn have made two changes this week, and the side from the back line is Gibson, Schoenmakers, Hodge. Luke Hodge in the back pocket is a luxury, isn't it? The half back line, Burgoyne, Stratton and Birchall. The centre line, Shields, Mitchell and Brad Hill. Half forward line, Piopolo, Franklin, Smith. Full forward line, Gunston, Roughhead and Bruce. The followers are Hale, Lewis and Rioli the Rover. And the interchange, Max Bailey, Giray, Guerra and making his long-awaited return, Michael Osborne. The emergencies for the game, Brian Lake, big recruit, can't get a kick, Angus Litherland, and Shane Savage.
The Macho Man.
Macho Man Randy Savage was not so macho round one, and will need to put in some big performances to get back in the team. So the one change there was Michael Osborne coming in for the Rising Star nominee. I've gone blank. Michael Osborne coming in for the Rising Star nominee in Anderson. Officially Anderson out with a hamstring injury. I didn't see much record of that during the week, so I would dare say the kid's just going to have a little rest while we go down to Tassie, take care of some purple crap, and then he'll be back next week.
It doesn't say here that he's got a hamstring injury. It just says he's got a hamstring. Oh. Now, all of us have hamstrings. We have two of them.
Maybe that's his problem. Maybe he's only got one.
Hey, looking at that team, one guy that's impressing me is Hill, and didn't miss Young, and didn't notice Young at all on Sunday. Funny they didn't play him.
Funny that he's done a hamstring.
Talking of hamstrings.
At this stage, and I don't like wishing bad things against Hawthorn premiership players, but at this stage, the young recruitment is going along the lines of Mark Williams. A win for us, a win for Mark Williams, and that's about it.
So, how do you get Lake into that team, Bart?
Mate, it doesn't really matter. They obviously just don't think he's quite ready. Big out for Freo, by the way, in one M. Pavlich not playing. So there's probably not an obvious matchup in their forward line for Lake. So they probably decided to give him another week at Box Hill. I think he had 21 last week and 9 marks playing at full back. So look, the bloke clunks the ball. We want him in that back line. We saw last week, as good as Shuey's been, he's still going to struggle against the real big blokes. Funnily enough, the first 3 games of the year were the 3 teams that have the big forwards that we've already played. So he'll get back in, mate. Obviously, if you look at that side there, you've got Stratton sitting at centre-half back. He has to move across to a flank. Blake comes in and goes to fullback, Shuey up to centre half back, and we go from there. Shoemaker's playing on a second forward is a dream, I reckon, for us. He's very creative running off, and when he doesn't have to worry as much about who he's playing on, he's going to be very handy indeed. So yeah, it still means someone has to come out. Probably at this stage you say to be Jure, but I hope they just keep rotating these kids in and out, because the kids give a spark. If Anderson's back next week, maybe Brad Hill goes out for a week, just to keep them fresh. You don't want to burn these kids out. As long as we're playing well, I think we can afford to do a little bit of that. And that goes with some older blokes as well. You know, if we can travel well enough after these first 7 games where we've got the hard games, we get an easier run and we can give blokes the rest. We don't want to take guys in the finals flat out if we get there that have had to play every week. So a bit of management comes into it, but Lake's in our best 22, mate. There's no doubt about that. So it's just a matter of when we bring him in.
So Aussie, the sub, Bailey gets subbed out at 3/4 time if everything goes to plan, do you think?
I'd imagine so. Depending on who's done the bulk of the work. And look, watching all the pre-season, they look like they were pretty keen to have 2 ruckmen. I think they thought they killed Ruffy towards the end of the year last year, having to play so much in the ruck. So I think at least for the early part of the year, we'll see 2 ruckmen play, and that leaves Ruffett as a forward, because you don't really consider him a ruckman anyway. Maybe towards the end of the year, because he wouldn't have done the work, team balance might come in, we want an extra runner, and that's when they'll choose one of Hale or Bailey as an 80% ruckman, and then let Ruffett help him out. Having not done it all year, I think that would work all right. But at this stage, I don't want Ruffy rucking every week. I don't think he needs to be in the rotation at all when there's 2 of them there. They've still put him in there a bit probably to keep his hand in the job. But yeah, look, I think long term, at this stage, yeah, Bailey, when there's 2 ruckmen playing, I think you look to sub one out, and maybe long term we'll end up with 1. But if Bailey can produce a form that he did against West Coast on a consistent basis, I think he might offer a little bit more than Hale, as long as our forward line's functioning okay without Hale. That could be an option.
All right, Bards, well, we've got a 20-minute time limit on the videos that we have to put together here. So we better go straight to how much we're going to win by.
Look, mate, Freo down there is normally a pretty good hunting ground for us. I can't see us coming away with much less than a 45-point win.
Well, you always go points, I've got to go goals, don't I? Isn't that the way this works?
Wasn't it the other way around last year?
All right, well, we'll swap then. I'll give it 7 goals.
All right, so we're within 3 points.
Yeah, look. All right, so we're looking forward to a big win. We're looking forward to more members, and we're looking forward to more participation. Can't ask for more than that.
We can't. Well, we can ask, but we probably won't get any more than that, so we'll go with that.
Well, if we don't get it, then there'll be a wet as whinge next week, won't there?
It will indeed.
All right, Bards, that's it, and we'll be back again next week.
Thank you, Grant.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.